Do you live and breathe the beautiful game? Dream about the biggest soccer moments?
Or maybe you just want to hear some unfiltered takes from real fans like you.
Welcome to Futbol Unfiltered, where the passion for soccer knows no boundaries.
Meet your panel, Carl Phillip, JD, Yunel, and Coach. From the world's biggest matches to those unforgettable moments that made us fall in love with and the rising stars shaping soccer's future, you'll find it all here. Join us every week for Futbol Unfiltered, the bilingual soccer podcast that speaks your language, your passion, and your love for the game. Futbol Unfiltered, where soccer's heart beats louder.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Futbol Unfiltered. I'm your host, Carl Philippe. Tonight we got the regulars tonight. We'll start with JD. JD, how you doing tonight, man?
Good, Coach. A pleasure to be here. As the week is winding down, it's a pleasure to be with you guys so we can talk about soccer and about our hobby. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, JD is a residential doctor in here. It's Dr. Socrates here. So another one that we got Ale. Ale, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Good to see you.
Yeah.
So before we get started, I was just talking to JD before the show started. It's been a year since we started doing
Wow.
Futbol Unfiltered. We started as Soccer Unfiltered, now with Futbol Unfiltered, but it's been a year since we've been doing it. So this is a year of celebration
Oh,
of
wow.
doing this. So it's been great. So let's keep it up, guys.
Good.
So anyway, so we got a packed show tonight. So tonight, we're gonna be cover. So last week, a couple of weeks ago, we had a heated debate when it comes to the U.S. soccer, especially when we were talking about Pochettino and his job so far with the men's national team. So we're gonna talk about the state of U.S. soccer. Then we're gonna because of that we're gonna kind of touch base about the youth soccer in America. Is it a broken system or is it a good system? And yesterday we had a doozy before between France and Germany, so we're gonna talk a little bit about it. And of course, we're gonna be talking about some of the off-season moves that we have so far this year. I mean, this summer with a lot of acquisition and transfer. So anyway, let's start first. I know that's Ali's favorite subject when he get to talk about U.S. soccer here. So how do we? So what's the state of U.S. soccer right now? So I'm gonna start with you, Ali.
Well, that's a very great question. I think your soccer is at a crossroad right now. It's like I feel that we, as much as we want and we wish to see things get better, and we still keep getting disappointed every major tournament. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but I feel like I think in 2025, I would have hoped to see U.S. soccer far ahead of where it is today. I know it's going to be a great debate tonight to kind of talk about those challenges that U.S. soccer is facing, but I feel like we're still not quite there yet today.
JD.
Ale, I'm going to disagree with you on this one because I think we have making a lot of progress, and then it just we need to wait to see the fruits of this progress. For example, before the show, I was telling Coach, look at the signings of some of the U.S. men players in Europe. And I can't remember the last time that we've seen this type of money, that this type of team interested in signing U.S. players. You have two prime examples this summer. You have Tillman, who was going to Bayer Leverkusen for over 30 million. You have James Cardoso going to Atletico Madrid. under Simeone for another 20, 25 million. So I guess, and not even talking about Pulisic, McKinney, and the whole numbers of players that we have in Europe now. I think, unfortunately, we don't have that much time before and competitions before the World Cup. But as far as the men national team, I think there's a lot of hope because we have, it's a great generation. I think for me, it's actually the best generation of US soccer players. So definitely, I think I would not say it's all green. If you look at on another aspect, the MLS, look at the amount of attention that we're getting. Of course, Messi is here, but the MLS as a whole has improved as a league. I think there's hope. There's a lot of work to be that left to be done, but I think I think I'm very hopeful about your circuit teams and U.S. soccer now. Hmm.
So let's dive more into it, right?
Hmm.
So last World Cup was 2022, right? So between last World Cup and now, obviously the US gonna be the host, one of the host countries.
Hmm.
So they had two major tournaments. Obviously they had the Copa America last year, and also they had the Gold Cup this year. So both tournaments, actually the Copa America, I don't think they didn't go past first round,
Hmm.
and the Gold Cup was a little bit better, but they got to the championship game and they lost to Mexico.
Hmm.
So when we're looking at those two tournaments, because obviously being a host country, they don't have qualifiers and so forth, so they don't get to play a lot of games, so they only play friendlies and stuff. So do you guys feel like the those both Copa America and Gold Cup, they were missed opportunity for the US? So
Oh,
let me start with you, JD.
yeah, definitely. There were missed opportunities for the national team, but before that, you have to also consider what they did in the nation leagues. Almost like two times in a row, they were able to win the tournament. Also, in between the World Cup and now, so. I think yes, there were missed opportunities, and like I said, unfortunately, there's not a lot of time and competition left. Like you mentioned, they only have to play friendlies now until the World Cup. But I think Pochettino is a good coach, and then I think it's more. We need more commitment from the superstars of the team, and also I think everybody needs to come behind the team. I know there has been a lot of talk because of some of the players chose not to play for the national team during the Club World Cup and during the Gold Cup. But I think we have to put all this behind us and everybody behind the team. And I think we have a chance to go back and did what the US did in 2002 in Japan, where they reached, I think, the quarterfinals. And I think we can aim at that goal for the next World Cup. I think we have the personnel this time. Like I said, I think it's the best generation. But I think yes, there were missed opportunities. But like I said, I'm very hopeful about the team.
So before I go into ask Alan a question, so
Mhm.
we like to also get the viewers involved in our conversation. So
Sure.
I think the questions for the viewers are the US on the right track, or are they going backwards when it comes to soccer? So please drop a comment. Let us know that if you feel like the US on the right track, or if they regress a little bit. So please let us know how you feel about that. So let me talk to Ale a little bit.
Sure.
Are we having so when you're looking at the women's soccer, for a long time they were dominant, and when you're looking at the state of sports in the U.S., right? When you look at Germany, I said Germany. Look at basketball, and how we fare in the Olympics, and so forth. So there's that. Uh, people think when it comes to how the U.S. supposed to represent in what we call world sports, we have to be better than that. Are we are we in the U.S. have our hopes too high and not realistic about what we have instead of knowing the talent level that we have in the U.S. and the money that we have? Are we like not realistic about when it comes to soccer, uh, as far as the expectation that we have for the U.S. soccer. So, Ale, as a fan, what do you think? Especially you also watch a lot of international soccer. So, do you feel like there's some unrealistic expectation when it comes to U.S. soccer?
That's a great question. That's a multifaceted question, Coach. I appreciate the question. Also, JD, I think JD gave us some excellent points. And I do agree that there's a lot more American soccer players that are now playing at the international level. But I think the main issue with US soccer is simply the fact that soccer is number one everywhere in the world. It's a number one sport globally. And yet in the US, we still feel that soccer is that the number one sport. It's still not gravitating at the pace where how basketball, baseball, football is. And as a result, there's a lot of reasons that could be. It could be financial, it could be marketing, it could be mainly financial. So I think the expectations are high because obviously as Americans, we want to win the World Cup. We want to win. And I don't feel like, and I don't see um, that much interest yet. I think there's still a talent gap at, within our US soccer players. When you compare those soccer players that are coming from the US and you compare them to the average soccer player in Argentina, in Brazil, in Europe, you still see a gap. And I still think the US soccer market is still closed. It's still a closed market. And what I mean by that is like soccer is still limited. It's still a market closed to just a few have access to it. So the expectations should be high. We should have the expectations to win the World Cup, but I still don't see this happening in the near future because I think we have yet to change our culture. We have yet to embrace this sport as the main sport. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot of money being involved, being spent in soccer. There's a lot of money being invested. If you look at how soccer started in the States, I would say back in the 1990s when we started looking at soccer, when the US, let's use 1994, for example, from the 1990s, 94, compared to now with the MLS, with everything that has taken place over the years, there has been a lot of progress made, to bring soccer here in the US. There has been a lot of marketing happening, but the main issue that I still see is like collectively speaking, I feel like we don't have an identity. I don't feel like there's an American style of soccer yet to be able to be competitive at the international level. So I know you guys are coaches, you guys can go into more details, but that's where I feel that the gaps are. I think there's a lack of identity. I think there's a cultural issue. I think we play soccer here, but a lot of the kids that are playing soccer, they play it in the short term, they play it for fun. But when it comes time to make a choice at the last minute, they pivot away from soccer. And I think that's where our gaps are coming from mainly.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I think when you look at it, when you're looking at the way the U.S. sports is structured, right? Uh, sometimes I think because of the size of the country and everything's going on from a sports level, I think the disconnection is there. So when you think about it, is that I totally agree with you. I don't think there's identity when it comes to U.S. soccer because I think it started with the youth level, right? So what you have is everybody's doing their own thing. So you have coaches, and unfortunately, Coach Carlos could not be here today, but that's one of the questions that we want to ask is even at the youth level, like everybody had their own agenda. So there's no true agenda of what we want to build, right? So when you're looking at uh, Germany, when they went in 1994 World Cup, and they felt like they were embarrassed in that World Cup, and even in '98 they didn't do well, so they came back. They said, "All right, we're gonna go with the grassroots. We're gonna do this," and it started with the youth level and all the ranks, and that's what you saw in the 2014 when they won the World Cup. So, and that generation was kind of the golden generation. When you're looking at the US, it was just like we just put in pieces everywhere, right? And then when you're looking at Pulisic, yeah, it's great, but what kind of where did he come from, right? I mean, did he come from a certain club or a certain philosophy? So I think that's where I see a lot of gaps. It was just like every coaches. So basically, and I'm gonna kind of do a
Yeah,
segue in the youth soccer, right? So
yeah.
you have the youth coming from 6 to 14 and 15. You got all the way to 18, right? And then you got the high school level. And the high school level, so what you get taught in travel is totally different than high school. Because usually high school, you got, players that used to play and then they went back. So there's no blueprint of what they want to do. So when you go to high school and then you go to college, so every college play different. Everybody got their own philosophy of what they think of soccer. So there's no connection between one category of soccer at the youth level to college, so it doesn't go. And then you got the MLS, and the MLS is its own entity when it comes to soccer. So when you think about it, and we kind of talk about a little bit about Brazil last week, was when you're looking at Brazil, what they've been doing in the last couple of years is they be generating players like Neymar. So they all play the same way. But the US, you can't even say that. We don't know that, or we try to play, or we try to get more defenders, more midfield, or more forwards. It's all over the place. And I think that's one of the things I feel like we have to we have to wrap our heads around it and say that, okay, how are we gonna start from youth all the way to the national team, to the senior team? What kind of philosophy we're gonna adopt, and
Yeah.
have all those guys who's just gonna teach or coach at that at certain level know that this is the philosophy they wanna adopt.
Coach, if I can interject, one thing I would say, to go back to the pros when it comes to U.S. Soccer, is the youth development and talent pooling growing. If you look at it before, most of the MLS teams didn't have academies. Now you have teams like FC Dallas, you have Philadelphia, you have LAFC. They have youth programs. Those are strong pipeline where you can expect, very soon to get some players at a young age where that we can develop. I think that's a pros when it comes to the state of U.S. soccer, if you want. And also, one thing you can notice from this is more American players are moving, like I mentioned before, to top European clubs at a younger age, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
And
but listen, I mean, it's no different. Yeah, that's. I mean, I think the American players they're very. I mean, I think what one thing that we offer, we're very athletic. We got more exposure now, and then also with the
the academies, that's
yeah,
a
yeah. But what I'm saying is, I think right now, be because of globalization, and I think that all those clubs in Europe, they have some type of headquarter in the U.S. So now I think they have more exposure to the soccer game in the U.S. But I think for me, I think what you said about the academy, I think that's the right approach. But the problem is, you still have a lot of soccer that are spread out all over the place.
and then
So where they feed that academy in? How do people get into the academy? How do they do that? Right. So So
And
just to let you guys know, I'm back in coaching again at the youth level. So when I'm coaching there, so my philosophy that I believe in, how my philosophy get tied to s- the next level, to what happened after that. That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just like it's just like I feel like we very spread out. I think we play a lot of soccer. I think the whole high school thing doesn't give us anything. I think I like the whole academy thing. And what you have is you have a bunch of kids, they go and travel every week, and parents are spending so much money
mhm,
every weekend. And then you don't know where he goes from there. So
yeah, yeah,
you spending all that money, it doesn't go anywhere. So it's not like we say that we go, just like the NBA, you have college basketball, right? You got college basketball. You know that that's where they're gonna go after. Now the MLS, you don't know where they go and get those players. It's not like most. I mean, yeah, obviously you got Division 1 players, but it's not like we said that. All right, we're gonna use Division 1 players or college players to be the next level. So we're gonna go with that philosophy and move it to the national team. And that's where for me it's you got too many things going on, and I think that's where that disconnect is.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that's why as a team we don't have an identity.
But just to tell you, soccer is the most popular sport among U.S. youth under 18, which is a good thing. And you have a rapid growth in the Hispanic, the African, and other immigrants community that's boosting the cultural connection with the sport. I think all those are positive. But I agree with you when it comes to pay for play, for example. Soccer, I think it's still too expensive, but I think there's some light at the end of the tunnel, like the expansion of the MLS growth and prestige, with the new franchises, with Messi's here. But I agree, we need to play with a unified identity. And also, one point we didn't touch much is the coach licensing, right? And education gap. We need to have we need to have top level coaches at youth level, and that's something you can elaborate on. And I think compared to Germany, Spain, France, when it comes to coach development, it remains underfunded and consistent in the US. I think all this, we think we need more a visionary approach from the US Soccer Federation. But like I said, I think there's some light at the end of the tunnel.
So Alain, you can jump in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you guys said. I can tell you, me being a parent of my son played soccer throughout his youth, until he got to college. Actually, his last year of high school, he decided to play football. I was against it, but he wanted to try it, right? So we did all the traveling. We went all over the state. We went to different states, to give him that opportunity. I can tell you the biggest issue that I have with youth soccer is in America is the fact that it's commercialized. Unfortunately, it's commercialized. It's like Coach was saying, there's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of, if you don't have the means
Okay.
to afford to have your son or your daughter play soccer, they will not play. They will not have that sense of competition. The only thing that I see also, which is pretty obvious, anyone can become a coach in any community. Even if you don't have the background of a coach, like our coach here on this website, on the show, he's trained, he's been playing soccer his entire life. He knows the game. I've never been a soccer player. You guys know that already. But if I volunteer in my community to be a coach, they will let me coach. I just have to take a class, know the fundamentals, and here we go. And I'll be the one training young kids into soccer until their parents can afford a real club for them to pay with hopefully better coaches. Right there, that's the problem, because you have a lot of kids being put into this cycle and I don't think it's benefiting the U.S. in the long run. And
Yeah,
that's one of the systemic challenges that we face in America today for
Yeah.
yeah,
soccer.
and I think you hit it right on. And I think the biggest problem is and then also we talk about the cultural aspect of it. We are in a culture of win, 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 win. We have coaches are coaching 9-year-old kids, and then they get upset because they're not winning. And then parents are making decision and be like, "Oh, I need to take my kids to that team because they win more games," even though they don't understand the philosophy of the game. So for me, I believe that from 9 to 12, the from 9 to 12, what you want to focus is the technical aspect of the game. It's make the kids enjoy the game. Like all of us here, we grew up in Haiti, right? So, and I always tell people when I play soccer, that's the only time that I feel free. I feel like a kid again. So I think right now we make sports so much of a business aspect. So we take away the fun of the game. We forget that it's a game. We have to have fun playing it. So because we want it to win so bad, we wanna we wanna get our name somewhere, and the coach, it's all about W's because that's where they get recognized. So I think the one thing that when you're looking at teams, I mean, kids from other country, they play with so much passion because they love it. We grew up playing in the streets. We we go and play in the streets all the time.
Yeah.
Now, kids, the only time they play, and it's like I said, it's a cultural thing. The only time they play is they have to be organized. They
No,
have to go to practice and then they play. They don't play in the streets. They don't play with their friends and stuff like that.
no.
So I don't.
One
Go
thing
ahead.
to say, Coach, like Alan was saying, just to look at a different angle, it's not like the youth, they're not interested. They're not interested to play or to have the same joy that we had playing as a kid. What we're trying to touch on is the fact that there's not, like Alan said, there's not enough competent coaches at this level. You understand what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm trying to explain it. But
federation level, they need to have those
yeah,
level coaches at the youth level. Because I'll give you an example. If
yeah,
you look at if you look at the kids coming out of the pipelines of the academies in Europe, for example, by the age of 12, most of the academies they have an idea of who's gonna have a great future. Look at, for example, you have that kid in Barcelona, right? He started like when he was 15, and he's not the only one. Look at Doué, for example, in PSG. Look at the kid that just played just in the Gold Cup for Mexico. So you need to have those top level coaches because what Alan was saying, like, and that's true.
yeah.
Most this level, you have parents that just read a book, and that's how they become coaches.
Exactly. So what I think what I'm trying to explain to you, because of the lack of competence you have in that youth level, they only focus on one thing, which is win, 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 win.
Yeah,
So they're not teaching the kids the
they don't know.
technical aspect
They
of the game.
they
That's
can't.
what I'm trying to say. They're not teaching the kids that's why I was saying that from nine,
They don't know because for
they
you to
don't know.
teach, you
Hmm?
need to know.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So because they're not teaching the technical aspect of the game, so what you see is you got you got coaches that are you got coaches that all they want to do is put all the good players in one team, and
Mhm.
then they win because of that. And then next thing you know, they're the best coach. So
And
you have parents are taking their kids out to go play for that coach because that coach win all the time,
if you
even though the coach is not.
think about it, even if you take the example of Haiti or some countries, it's the same problem. They cannot compete because at this level they don't have great coaches at the youth level. Because you know soccer, you know better than I do. By the time you reach 11, 12, you're already mature in soccer.
Yep.
It's not like other sports. So if you don't have the great coaches at this level, it's there's not much you can expect from those kids. And I think
Yeah,
it's not just the US, it's most countries. They need to focus on those academies. Like what you said, the lack of Carrington, for example, in Manchester United, the lack of La Masia in Barcelona, the lack of La Fabrica in Real Madrid. You need to have those programs. And if you think about it, I think like we focus on the coach of the national team, but what I would like to see happen in the US is having those top retired players coming to the US to teach the youth. Like for example, you have Tony Cruz doing it in Germany. He has an academy where he's not coaching like high level team, but at the youth level, the 9, 10 year old. And hopefully that can happen, at some point in the US soccer. But that's what we need. Go ahead, Hannah.
yeah,
And Joe, one more thing, you're so right. I think that's where the problem is. And those academies that you're talking about, we need to make them affordable and accessible to all types of kids from
Especially in lower.
every corner of the country, every corner of the social lifespan. We gotta make it accessible for everybody, and that's the
yeah,
problem. If the kids cannot have access to great coaching, we're not gonna be able to have that pipeline. We're not gonna make it. That's what
yeah.
it is.
When
100%.
you think about it, we're
It's
such a big country, right? We're such a big country with all the infrastructure, and then and one advantage that we have is a melting pot, right? We have people from all kind of different ethnicity coming here. Where you when you're looking at other country, they have mostly people from they that grew up in their own country. Like here, we have Italian, we have German, we have Haitians, Mexican, you name it. So when we have all this, we got Nigerian here, so we have all this e- ethnicity here. But just like you say, Ale, I think that it's not accessible to everyone, and I think the reason is because of the business aspect of it, right? So and everybody it just try to make everybody try to make a dollar out of it, right? Which that's part of it, right? It's a business, right? You gotta make money, but at the same time is because and then we think about it, the US and Pele used to say that the US is the country when kids play the most soccer. So when you think about all the aspect that we have. I mean, you got soccer, in high school. You got the clubs. You got soccer and the rec leagues. I mean, kids play a lot of soccer here, but the problem is when you play that much soccer with different philosophy, there's no one philosophy, right? So, which I think that's what we don't have. You can tell in basketball. You want people that can. Right now we know the philosophy is everybody want to shoot threes, so everybody want to shoot threes now, right? So and football, you want the biggest and fastest. So now you have defensive line running 4-2. For I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you got defensive line that are 300 pounds are running 4-6. So the speed, speed, speed. But when you're looking at soccer, what exactly we try to get? You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what we're trying to get. So, and I think because there's no common language and our youth level that kind of transition to the next level. So everybody's doing their own thing, and then it's a result of not having the right coach, not right philosophy. But I think that's something that the federation needs to have a plan. I don't think it's gonna be fixed by one coach. The
correct.
federation needs to have a plan. When it comes to soccer, they need to kind of make a decision of how they want soccer to be in the US and what kind of talent, what kind of people they want to go after, and then what kind of resources they're gonna put out to make sure that they get the best. I mean, right now, I think because we play a lot of soccer, when you think about it, from a technical standpoint, those guys are more technically savvy than the guys that play in the 1994 World Cup. I mean, when you're looking at Pulisic from a technical standpoint, he's probably the best soccer player that we ever had. But and when you're looking at Weah, Musa, those guys are very technically sound. But because they play a lot of soccer growing up, now they have more exposure to soccer. But I think the federation needs to understand. Okay, if we want to make this a big project, those are the things that we need to do from the grassroots to kind of and then get the identity that what kind of soccer player we gonna start having. Are we gonna focus on the technical standpoint so we can bring those guys up? And then or are we gonna focus on speed and whatever it is? And those are the type of things that we're gonna start doing at our youth level so we can get those players. That's where we need to understand. That's what the federation needs to come up with something and say, this is where we're gonna go after, just like Germany did. We need guys that can be more technical savvy. We're gonna go after those guys, and then they start bringing those guys, they start developing those guys, and that's why we had the Germany win the World Cup in 2014. That generation of players. So it's a good debate. Unfortunately, we don't have all the answers, but I think that's a good conversation to have as we go. So, like I told you guys, I'm back coaching again. So I'm
Good.
going to be coaching with Carlos Cruz at Rangers Academy. I'm going to be coaching the U10 boys, and I'm very excited about it. I can't wait to get started. All right. So yesterday we had the women Euro quarterfinal between France and Germany, and it was a great game. I enjoy it. It was one of uh I mean it was the best way to enjoy my Saturday yesterday. But I'm gonna go. Did you guys have a chance to watch the game?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
JD,
it was a great game, and it started with Germany dominating the game, and then all of a sudden they are playing. They went down to 10 players after I
13
think
minutes, 13 minutes.
yeah, 13 minutes, and then they get a red card because of Enrich that pulled one of the French players' hair, and that was a justified red card, and France uh, convert that penalty, and from then on, we thought it was like France will win the game, but the Germans, like I was telling you before, they are very strong mentally and physically. So they were able to bounce back with an equalizer, I think 10 minutes after France goal. And then they battled until the penalty shootout that they won due to the heroics of their goalkeeper. I think it's sad. It's almost like France never have a chance to win against Germany in a big tournament, and unfortunately, the story will continue. And I think it's well deserved. The German grits, the way they fight all night long to survive and win that game. That was remarkable. Great game, especially with their goalkeeper. Yeah.
Alan, did you have a
Yeah,
chance to watch the
yeah.
game?
I watched the highlights of the games. To be quite honest with you, I was out yesterday, but I was very impressed from what I saw. And then you guys were right all along. You've been telling me, hey, you need to watch those games. Those ladies can play soccer,
Oh
and
yeah.
I was able to go and watch the Sweden game. I watched the England game. I mean, I saw the level of soccer they were playing. But to go back to that French game, it's quite unfortunate. I know they scored 2 goals and they took away those goals because there were some offsides there. But still, like, you're playing with more players and you still cannot give the final punch, right, to put you to the semifinals. So I think it was well deserved that Germany won. They held strong and they still managed to win the game. I was disappointed by France. I thought France could have won the game, and especially looking at how they play against the Netherlands. I watched that game and said, oh my goodness, those guys, those ladies, sorry, those ladies can really play, and they just couldn't beat Germany. And you said something, JD, your mentality, they're mentally strong to hold on. You lose a player at the 14th minute and you last like 120 minutes, right? And you still maintain, you still score, you equalize, and you're able to play and still be win the game at the end of the day. So that team, I think it's a team to watch,
Yeah.
because this win was a big win for them, and I think now I'm curious to see what they're going to do in the semifinals.
Yeah.
So for me, I put it this way, right? So if anybody wants to learn how to play defense, watch the way Germany played defense yesterday. It was impeccable the way they played defense. So what I saw yesterday. That's a team that understand the strength and the weaknesses, right? They understand that and they master it. So they say, you know what? You the game. We got back in the game 1-1. We down one player. You're gonna have to beat us. And then when you gotta beat us, you gotta have to beat the whole team.
Hmm.
And then they play a defensive strategy that was remarkable. I mean, the French player, they did everything. They did everything they could, but they never cracked down. I mean, they were like there was no crack in that defense. I mean, and the keeper, and at one time, like there was a cross and the lady had the ball and the keeper make an unbelievable save.
Hmm.
So I think it's a team that is very united, and I think they have a tough test against Spain, just because the way Spain's play, and also the quality of players that Spain has. But like you said, I don't think that's a team that Spain needs to take lightly. They show a lot of heart, and they show a lot of grit yesterday. So I believe that if you let him in the game, things like that could happen, right? So Germany is the kind of team that you got to put him away early, just like Sweden did when they played them. You got to put him away early, but if you let him in the game, like they did, like friends let Germany stay in the game, uh, they can be very dangerous. And at one point, they were playing with one forward, and she was just giving the French defense some fits yesterday. So it just like for me, I was very impressed with that mentality and the never give up mentality and the way that they play from start to finish. Like I said, if anybody wants to play how to put a great defensive strategy against a team, go watch that game yesterday against for Germany, because from a defensive standpoint, they play really, really, really well.
Hmm.
So I can't wait to watch him. I can't wait to watch him play against Spain. I think both semifinals gonna be very interesting. It's a good tournament.
Yeah.
It's a good tournament.
I think we haven't said enough about that keeper. You know, the way, I don't know, Alan, like you said, you watched the highlights. I don't know if you saw that miraculous back pedal save that she did in extra time
Yeah,
to
that's what I just said. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
that own goal. For me,
yeah.
it's like wow. So I think she's the heart of that team. She's the hero for Germany. And like you said, they're not. You know, the Spaniard looked more like technically savvy than them, but I think the heart of that German team, I think they can go all the way.
Good.
I agree.
All right. So let's move. Anything else you guys want to add? Good.
No, the
All right.
the the other game that I watched too was that England game against Sweden. They went to penalty kicks, and I was saying, oh my goodness, they couldn't score any penalty kicks. It's like I don't understand. Like, there was a lot of the goalies play a lot of there was a lot of back and forth. It was a beautiful games, but it seems like Sweden gave that one away. I felt like they were leading 2-0, and then it got tied 2-2 by England, and they ended up winning in the penalty kick. So it's hard, man. Penalty kicks, it's a very hard process, but it was exciting because I didn't know who was going to win. It was exciting because I didn't want to know the score. So I was watching. So, oh my goodness. It was fun. So I really cannot wait to watch the semifinals now. So I don't know. You could be surprised. You could have a Germany, England final. You just never know. You
Yeah,
never
like I
know.
said, I think Spain needs to be on the A game. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, Germany showed yesterday that they have a lot of heart, and if you let them stay in the game, they're
Hmm.
gonna surprise you. So that's why it's a beautiful game, man. It's a beautiful game. It's a cruel game. Sometimes the best team don't win, right?
Yep.
So sometimes the best team don't win. So uh it's been a lot of moves. It's crazy because the FIFA World Club just happened, and people are not even paying attention with the all season moves going on right now. So there's a lot of moves happening because you just feel like the season just ended, right? Because the FIFA World Club. So, but there's a lot of moves going on right now. As a matter of fact, one of the move that just happened is a possibility of Rashford going to Barcelona. So, so what do you think about that move, JD?
I think it's not just a possibility. Actually, today I saw a picture of him that he posted on Instagram that he was on a plane going to Catalonia, to Barcelona. So I think it's a done deal. But I think it's a great opportunity for him, especially being the first Englishman to play with Barcelona since Gary Lineker. That's 40 years ago. And I think it's a great chance for him to bounce back in his career. So I think it's a good deal for Barcelona because they didn't have to pay that much money. I think it's a great asset for Barcelona. I think he will help them in their quest to win another Champions League. I think it's a good deal. And he had some issues at home at Manchester United. Like I said, it's a second life for him in Barcelona. I hope he enjoy and take advantage of it. I think it's a great asset for Barca.
I really like that move. I mean, I think that is adding some depth to the team, especially he can play for as a backup for Rafinha. He's
Hmm.
also can play as a number 9 as well too. So I think that's a good move because usually sometimes we think about how certain players play 3 or 4 years ago, and then sometimes it doesn't translate well. When you're looking at a guy like Philippe Coutinho that was killing at Liverpool when he played, and then when he transitioned into Barcelona, it was not a good transition. Same thing with Griezmann, did not have the type of year that he had at Atletico Madrid when he went to Barcelona. So only time will tell. But I think that the good thing I like about this is the fact that the team is already established.
Hmm.
So he doesn't have to come in and be the man, right? So you have Yamin Laman already there. You have Rafinha having a great year last year. I mean, obviously, you have Lewandowski up front, so he doesn't have to be like he's the man. So, I mean, obviously, playing for Barcelona add pressure because of the team Barcelona is, but I think that he's coming at the good as a in a good time. If he would have come last year, so it probably would have been different. So you probably would have felt more pressure. But the fact that the team is more established now, I feel like he's coming at a good time. Uh other off season, your Thiago Almeida also went to uh Atletico Madrid. That's also a nice move for him. Uh so yeah, I mean the upcoming season is shaping up to be a good one. So can't wait. And obviously, every season before the World Cup, it's always an interesting season.
Yeah.
So good. Alan, you got anything else you want to add?
No, I think for Rashford, I think it's a any move that brings him out of Manchester is a good thing. I think it's more a win for him than for Barcelona. Let's be honest, Barcelona is loaded. They have a lot of talent there. I think they're gonna have a solid year, and I think you're right. I think him joining that club is gonna give him a chance to prove himself again. And sometimes you need that, right? Sometimes you need a change of venue, a change of a different breath of air to be able to recalibrate yourself and prove yourself again. And I think that's going to be a unique opportunity to get him ready for the World Cup, right? If you're going to have a World Cup next year, you better start playing with Barcelona to build your self-confidence and be able to surround yourself with talented players so you could help your country, which is not what Neymar is doing right now. But that's a whole different conversation. Then we'll move forward.
Scored.
Yeah,
Go ahead, coach.
He scored
but
the last game. He scored. He scored for Santos. They still at the bottom of the list, but I think he's showing some effort. So give him time, Alan.
Do you know what he's doing? I don't know if coach you sent me that thing before the show. Like he's kicking the ball near the post to show he can curve it to go into the
Not,
goal line. Who sent me that? Was it you? I think you
not
sent me a.
but I think the one I wanted to show it's him. I think we talked about it last week, but correct me if I'm wrong. It's him on the bench eating popcorns. That was something.
He's
Do
making
it
reels, man. He's making reels. I don't see Messi making reels. I see Messi scoring goals at 38 years old. I don't
oh,
see. I don't
oh,
see.
Alan is talking about Messi.
You know that.
Up to that.
No,
Oh,
I'm just being honest. It's like this
yeah.
dude. He first of all he changed his style. He has braids now. His hair is all yellow.
Of the game last night of what Messi did in that brace, the brace that is scored.
no, we're not talking about Messi tonight, man.
Yeah, we're
We're
not
not
gonna
talking.
talk about
Hey,
Messi. I'm just
We're
telling
not
you.
talking about Messi
You
tonight.
know,
Alan,
can he go back somewhere? Maybe he should go to Barcelona. Maybe that will help him. But guess what? Barcelona will never take Neymar back ever. So that tells me his level of their level
no, I
of
think he's showing
confidence when it
efforts.
comes to Neymar. So, anyways, to go back to Rashford, I don't know, man. I'm not really confident. Every time I see this guy, my confidence level goes down significantly. So we'll see. Coach is happy because that's what he wants. He wants total humiliation of Brazil next year. That's what he wants.
Oh,
He wants
No, man.
Argentina to win it again
Alan,
next year and Brazil to be gone in the first round. That's what he wants. I know it. I
let's
know.
be honest. On top of it, if you want to add insult to injury, look at what's his name, Vini Jr. and Rodrigo. You know, two players that we're expecting to help Brazil next year. They're not doing well, and there's some rumors actually that even Real Madrid is ready to drop Vini to make some cash. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good. But as far as for Neymar, I think we have to give him time. You know, sorry, coach, that was not the topic, but that's interesting.
Hey, this is what this coach is about. I said this coach. This is what the show is about. It's about being unfiltered. It's about real stories, real conversation, and I didn't want to talk about Messi tonight, but I didn't wanted to bring
Why
it
not?
up.
Why not? That's part of the news. The guy scored
Yeah,
his
I,
brace in
I feel
7
like we talk.
games.
I feel
That's
like we talk about Messi every weekend,
no,
man.
but that's not a choice. That's
Yeah,
newsworthy.
yeah, I know. I mean, when you see him playing the way he plays,
Listen,
it's
Alan,
crazy.
Alan, you said it.
No,
I
I mean,
compared him to Neymar, bro. It's totally different. I didn't
No,
compare him to Lamine Yamal. I compare him to Neymar. That's what
no,
I did.
a minute. If we're talking about soccer news, right? Updates. Tell me if you have a player that scores 6 braces in 7 games. that's newsworthy to talk about. That
No,
doesn't.
no, you're absolutely right. You're
You're
absolutely
right.
right.
You're
Yeah,
right.
you're
I
right. You're
agree.
right.
38. Actually, he is the best player in the world at 38 years old. That's what we're talking about.
All right, coach. Next topic. Next topic.
You should have put that video up, man. Come on, the viewers need to see that.
Well, the video of Messi scoring.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think it's all over the place right now. It's all over ESPN and YouTube. So
hey, we should rub it for Allen. Allen,
no,
those
no,
guys.
all right. All joke aside, all joke aside, Inter Miami play Cincinnati, right? And and then they got destroyed. I mean, it got destroyed. And usually, I mean, for me, what I saw with Messi yesterday, he wanted to make a statement.
Mhm.
Like the way he came into the game, I was like, oh my God, it's gonna be a long game for the Red Bull. I mean, even though the Red Bull went up right away, I mean, Messi participated in almost eight all the goals that they scored yesterday. So I mean, the pass that he has to Jordi Alba was beautiful. He
Mhm.
had a second pass to Jordi Alba when he lobbed it over the defense, and Jordi Alba crossed it for Segovia to score. Obviously, that his first goal. I mean, I mean, it's crazy that Messi is 38 years old and he left the defender in the back. The defender could not keep up with him when he took off for that goal when he dribbled that keeper.
I
I
think
mean,
move on. Look at Allen's face now.
it's crazy. For me, again, obviously,
Allen,
we talking purely from a soccer, from a football standpoint.
yeah.
I mean, I think what we see with Messi, what we witness with Messi, I think we are very fortunate to see that. To experience that because the kind of joy it gives everybody on a weekly basis just by scoring or by passing or whatever he's doing, it's something that I think we will understand when he retire and then we won't see it on a regular basis. I mean, Messi is putting like he's doing stuff like he used to do at Barcelona. I score 2 goals every game.
Can
Mhm.
It's crazy.
can
It's
I
crazy.
interject a few things? And I'm trying to, and I'm glad you guys brought this up because that's my entire point. I'm gonna kind of loop in our conversation we had earlier about U.S. soccer and what's happening today, right? So
Yeah.
this is the reason why U.S. soccer is struggling, right? Especially because of the MLS, right? The MLS focuses too much on revenue over development. All right. That's one of the biggest problems that's happening. And then the other thing that they do, they favor aging stars. They will spend a lot of money to bring players like Messi, people that have pretty much retired from Europe, and they will bring them to the United States to play. And what happens when they do this? They sideline domestic talent. So you don't get to put those younger stars, you don't get to pay them as much. You don't get to really like increase the talent pool of your sport, local talent, because you have the messes of the world coming from Europe. You want to attract the Neymars, you want to attract the Suarez, and that's the problem. Yes, Messi is great business. He brings a lot of value. It gets ratings, and I agree with you guys. But you have to understand the talent that he has around him. The players that are playing defense are not the same caliber of players that are playing in Europe, guys. And we have to be honest about this. And I think that's what it is, and that's my frustration with U.S. soccer. It's like, yes, it's great for TV, it's great for the stats, it's great for the viewers, but it ends up hurting the U.S. soccer uh, team in the long run.
No, I disagree, Allen, because think about it. That's a good exposure for some young talents to be seen. Playing against Messi, you have like I don't know how many millions of viewers in the world. That can catch the attention of some great team in Europe. So I think you have to see that aspect. I think we all agree that we need more talent and we need a federation that's more active, not reactive. So
Yep.
meaning, and it's not just the U.S. soccer; it's a lot of those countries. For example, Haiti. You need to have that that vision about soccer, about the identity, about the youth development, about we just talk about it. I think Messi coming to the MLS is a win-win, and we're just me, for example. I'm so happy to have the best player in the world playing like 20 minutes from my house almost every weekend. And I think for a lot of people not used to soccer just get interested in soccer because of Messi. I think it's a good thing for U.S. soccer, but we need, like you said, we need to take advantage of it. Taking advantage, like take this as a blueprint, so we can have more academies, like you said, more top level coaches like ours, and then that can help the young and the youth, and then we can get hopefully in a future generation a better team. But I think it's all good. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
US soccer is moving the right
Yeah.
direction, like I said. But we just
I,
had that conversation.
yeah, but I agree with Ale though. I think the MLS focus too much of name brand than really product, right? So, and I think we saw that with all those players that they buy in, and those guys, they're the one that get all the money. So I agree with Ali because there's a kid right now. He was 16 last year. He's probably 17 now. He's played for Philadelphia. It's very good, but they don't talk about him all the time because every week, they focus on the other guys. So yes, I think the U.S. It kind of go back to what we were saying. The federation has to have a vision of what they need to do going forward. And it can be like, okay, let's just go win something or let's go far in the World Cup and think that everything's gonna be fixed. It's gotta be there's gotta be a strategy from the youth ranks all the way to the senior national team. So uh I think you both are saying the right things, but yeah, I think the MLS needs to do a little bit better promoting the youngsters. But yes, but at the same time, if I'm a defender and I get to play against Messi, and then I'm showing well on films, so that's an opportunity for a team in Europe to see me, right? So and if I'm on the other side, if I'm a forward, and then when I play against Miami and I show out really well. So those are great clips for films, so they can go play because everybody wants to go to Europe, right? That's where everybody wants to go, right? So anyway, it was a great show tonight. Thank you guys. It's always fun to talk about the game that we love. So it was a packed show. We kind of talk about the state of US soccer. So I think the question is where the federation goes from there. I mean, I think we
Maybe
will
we
be
can help.
yeah, we'll be interested. We would like to see. I just hope that they don't look. That's what I'm saying. I think the problem is we are a culture that is very result driven. Sometimes it takes time to get the result that we want. But also you got to look at the system. Is the system broken? How you can make the system a little bit better to get the results that you want. Sometimes we very top heavy. We want to fix everything on top, but not really looking at the grassroots and the bottom and all the way up. And that's why everybody wants to talk about Pochettino, but what does Pochettino have to work with? And that's where we got to start. And Ale making a great point. We got anybody in their mamas can be a coach, and in the U.S. And I think that's one of the reason that's one of the thing that they need to address um, as well too. So obviously we talk about the Euro quarterfinal between France and Germany. So obviously we had the semifinal coming up this week. So can't wait to see that, and I can't wait to see the matchup between Spain and Germany, especially what I saw from Germany
That's good.
yesterday, and so forth, and also England too. So the matchup on the other bracket is as excited as the other one. And lastly is we're gonna continue to watch the all season moves. Uh, so hopefully that viewers can tell us a little bit about who they think have the best of season this year, this summer, and we go from there. So anyway, guys, thank you for your time. It was a great show, as always. Ale, thank you for your fabulous input. We love it. And JD, a residential doctor, thank you for all your input, man. So I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you. All right, guys. Enjoy your week. Alain, Jose. All right, guys.
Always, baby.
Do you live and breathe the beautiful game? Dream about the biggest soccer moments?
Or maybe you just want to hear some unfiltered takes from real fans like you.
Welcome to Futbol Unfiltered, where the passion for soccer knows no boundaries.
Meet your panel, Carl Phillip, JD, Yunel, and Coach. From the world's biggest matches to those unforgettable moments that made us fall in love with and the rising stars shaping soccer's future, you'll find it all here. Join us every week for Futbol Unfiltered, the bilingual soccer podcast that speaks your language, your passion, and your love for the game. Futbol Unfiltered, where soccer's heart beats louder.